What really happened to Gaddafi's adopted daughter, Hannah? More than 13 years have passed since the controversial Libyan leader, Muammar Gaddafi, was executed, yet the fate of his family continues to intrigue the world, especially the mystery surrounding Hannah. Gaddafi's claim that his adopted daughter was killed during the 1986 airstrike has long been a topic of debate. But what if Hannah was never actually dead? Could she still be alive today? And what of the true identity of her biological mother? Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi was known for his eccentric and unpredictable nature, which made his personal life a subject of public fascination and speculation. His family, in particular, was veiled in mystery and drama, adding layers to his already complex persona. In a previous discussion of his family, we covered the basics, but now it's time to dive deeper into the enigmatic story of Gaddafi's adopted daughter, Hannah. Gaddafi's first marriage was to Fatiha Louis, which lasted only about a year. From this union, they had a son, Mohammed. However, after their divorce, Gaddafi found love with Safia Farkash, a former nurse. Safia became a central figure in his life, standing by him for decades. Together, they had 7 children, 6 sons and 1 daughter. Despite already having a sizable family, Gaddafi made the surprising decision to adopt 2 more children, a girl named Hannah and a boy named Malad. This choice raised an interesting question. Why would someone with 8 biological children choose to adopt more? Wealth, of course, wouldn't have been a problem. The Gaddafi family was incredibly wealthy, so raising 2 additional children wouldn't have been a financial burden. However, wealth alone doesn't fully explain the reasoning behind adoption. Could Gaddafi's adoption be part of a broader strategy to present himself as a more compassionate figure, a humanitarian, perhaps, to balance out his ruthless public image? Or perhaps the motivations were more personal, allowing Gaddafi to experience a side of fatherhood that went beyond power and politics. In the case of Hannah, she was reportedly adopted as an infant, and Gaddafi's fondness for her was widely recognized. Some even suggested that adopting children gave him a sense of fulfillment that humanized him. Further, adopting children might have also been a tool to foster loyalty within his inner circle, as Malad, for instance, was rumored to be the son of a close ally. However, the most intriguing part of this family dynamic was Gaddafi's adopted daughter, Hannah. Her story would eventually take center stage under the most tragic of circumstances. In 1986, the United States, under President Ronald Reagan, ordered a series of airstrikes on Libya, including one on Gaddafi's compound in Tripoli. In the aftermath, Gaddafi made an explosive claim. His 4-year-old daughter Hannah had been killed in the attack. He presented this news to the world, even showing the body of a young girl to an American journalist, claiming it was Hannah. Gaddafi also went to the extent of building a shrine to honor Hannah within his compound, using her death to rally anti-Western sentiment and underscore the alleged cruelty of the West. But questions quickly rose. Prior to the bombing, Gaddafi had never publicly mentioned Hannah. There were no official records of her existence, nor had she ever appeared with his other children during public events. This led to speculation that Gaddafi had invented her death, or perhaps even her existence, to further his political agenda, leveraging international sympathy to vilify the West. Over the years, Gaddafi continued to invoke Hannah's name. The story of her death became a key pillar of his propaganda, with her death serving as an emotional rallying cry against the West. On the 20th anniversary of the bombing that allegedly killed her, Gaddafi even organized the Hannah Festival of freedom and peace to honor her memory. However, as time passed, evidence began to emerge that contradicted the official story. Home videos from the late 1980s surfaced, showing Gaddafi and his family on a camping trip just outside Tripoli. In these rare moments of family intimacy, Gaddafi could be seen tenderly interacting with a young girl, identified as Hannah. In the footage, she was seen playing with a football, and Gaddafi affectionately called her his little heroine. This was striking, given that the video was reportedly taken 3 years after the 1986 bombing, in which Gaddafi had claimed that Hannah had been killed. In the video, other family members also referred to the girl as Hannah, leaving little doubt about her identity. The mystery deepened further in 1999, when a photograph surfaced showing Gaddafi sitting with his wife, Safia, and 2 young girls during a visit to South Africa. They were dining with Nelson Mandela, and the caption identified the girls as Gaddafi's daughters, Aisha and Hannah. The issue, of course, was that Hannah was supposed to have died in 1986, yet here she was, alive and well in a photograph taken 13 years later. The apparent discrepancy raised even more questions about the true fate of Gaddafi's adopted daughter. In 2011, as the Libyan revolution was gaining momentum, a document surfaced from a Swiss bank, listing the names of 23 members of the Gaddafi family. Among the names was Hannah Gaddafi, with a birth date of November 11, 1985. If this was correct, it would mean that Hannah was only 6 months old at the time of the 1986 bombing, not 4 years old as Gaddafi had previously claimed. This further complicated the story and cast doubt on the official narrative. The intrigue didn't end there. In August 2011, the Daily Telegraph reported that an English dentist had been flown to Tripoli years earlier to treat a patient named Hannah Gaddafi. This revelation only added to the mounting questions. The dentist suggested that it was possible there might have been 2 different Hannahs, which would explain the conflicting evidence and stories. So, what happened to Hannah Gaddafi? Was she really killed in the 1986 bombing, as Gaddafi claimed? Or was this part of a larger fabrication designed to serve his political interests? One theory is that after the death of the first Hannah, Gaddafi could have adopted another girl and named her Hannah to keep the memory of the first alive. Alternatively, it's possible that Hannah never died in the bombing at all, and Gaddafi's claim was simply a political strategy. Another theory is that the second Hannah was a relative or a close family friend who was taken in by the Gaddafi family and presented as his daughter. In the end, the mystery surrounding Hannah Gaddafi's fate remains unsolved even after the fall of Gaddafi's regime. Documents, photographs, and personal items found in his compound suggest that Hannah might have survived the bombing and led a life of privilege, yet the official narrative remains the tragic story of a daughter lost in an airstrike, a tale used by Gaddafi to further his political agenda. The truth about Hannah's fate is elusive, and whether she is alive today remains one of the greatest mysteries of Gaddafi's complex and secretive life.